Hello, Sagittarius. This is Jeffrey. This is Right Color. This is your reading for 2025. Yay, hooray. So the energy and the message is adjustment because there's going to be a lot going on in 2025, a lot, a lot, a lot. And it's like your immutable sign, so you'll be good. So I throw 12 cards because it's 12-month reading. And if you want a private reading, I would throw more than 12, like, oh, I want a clarification in February, la, 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 la. And I'm having a sale on this reading, on other readings, until November 7th, which is my birthday. And so I wanted to get these out, and I figured I'd give everyone a little break from the election session. And that is that. So let's see. I was really proud of myself because I was writing this morning. I do a little writing thing in the morning, and I'm getting like messages and writing it. And then it came through in Spanish, and I was like, and I wrote it in Spanish. I was like, oh, like that's nice. They say if you dream it, then you really, but I'm far from fluid. Believe me, believe me. But there's certain things I just revert to it, and I'm forgetting my English, to tell you the truth. Maybe I never knew it to begin with. Maybe that's the message. Right. Okay. Give me 2 seconds. Put one in the wrong place. Or put two in the wrong place. It's even worse. It's even worse. Okay. You ready? This is January. This is December. All right. Okay. Eventful. All right. The 9. Okay. I just taped this. I haven't put it up. It's going to go up next week. 9s are about attainment. All 9s are about attainment. So this is attainment of like a sadness or a sad. There's no denial in this card. This is like kind of the dark night of the soul. This is January. So sometimes January, because for me, New Year's Eve is like this time to reflect and all that. I love doing that anyway. I really see it for what it is. There's no denying it anymore. There's no pretending it doesn't exist. There's no avoiding. There's like a confrontation with self. What have I done? What have I done? How have I acted? You know, how have I shot myself in the foot? How have I stuck my foot in my mouth? But that's the energy of the card. Okay. So, but the good news is about that card is like there's no denial. There's no way to run, nowhere to hide in that card. It's like, oh no, I see it for what it really is. It's really clear. It's really clear. Okay. Because it's attainment. And this is the 5. 5s are about change. This is how I understand this card. So 5s are all the 5s are really the iconography and the 5s are great. It's almost like they're vagabonds, they're unemployed, they have nowhere to go, they don't have no to wear or eat, period. They're out in the snow. Great. February. This one is very focused on that. She's very I'm so miserable, it's getting colder, I have nothing to wear. Why did this happen to me? Blah, 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 blah. This one, even though he's been through the mill, and these are pieces and parts of ourselves, even though he's been through the mill, he's looking up. He's like, there's the hope, there's the warmth, there's the food, there's the opportunity, there's food, clothes. And he's like, let's go in. And she's like, stay with me in the misery. And it's almost like this fight in ourselves. The dark part of ourselves that wants to stay in the misery, wants to stay in the I don't belong, I'm abandoned, right? And we all have that. I'm not, uh, I told you my story, it'd be crying tears, honey. Um, and this is what you're going to get clear on about how there are pieces and parts of yourself that you haven't allowed in. There's piece and part of you that maybe wants to stay in the dark, that wants to stay outside of society, la la la, and feel abandoned. It's one thing to stay outside of society; it's another to feel abandoned, right? I think that's going to become really clear. And your intuition will reveal. In this case, your intuition is going to reveal both the light and the dark. Is March. This is an eventful, the adjustment is an interior adjustment. In this reading, the adjustment is an interior adjustment. The thing about Isis, which is who this is, it's a choice. And you're going to be able to see the choice really clearly. It's like, do I want to stay in the dark? Do I want to be in the light? Do I want to stay in the dark? Do I want to be in the light? Do I want to be nourished and held and accepted and loved and comforted and received? Or do I want to be in my own self-appointed darkness? You can move into a place that's much, as April, into a place that's much more calm and get away from the turbulence and not turn around. You have that opportunity. And the other thing about this card is I always understand this as a female ancestor, a benevolent female ancestor, generally who's passed, an ancestor, who can help and guide you and lead you. So, sometimes when I haven't done it really in a while, but my mother died, oh my God, 34 years ago. Wow. And every so often I call on her and I'm like, what should I do? What would you do? And I think about what she'd do and what she'd say or how she'd act in certain situations, because in certain situations, she didn't really know what to do. But in certain other situations, she did. And it's like, what do you think I should do? So you can tap into that. Tap into that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Like the beginning of the year, there's going to be a lot of interior unearthing and revelations about darkness, which is actually really good because the darkness is about separation and the light is about unity. And it's about separation from oneself, from God, from the earth, from other people, etc. And the unity is about unity with all of it. And the light brings unity, but we need to exercise the dark in order for the light to come. And sometimes, and it's kind of a solo journey. All right, and then I got El Diablo, which is really the energy of a false path of I'm nothing without this job, as an example. If I don't have this much money in the bank, I'm not worth anything. Without this relationship, without this, I don't know, if I'm not a certain weight, that's pushing it. But without this relationship, no one will love me. I really dislike my family, but they pay the bills and I'm tied to it. It's like that. That's what this card is about. It's a false path. It's saying, I rely on something outside of myself and I'm tied to it in darkness because I don't trust my own light, because I don't feel like I'm worthy, like that. That's the kind of stuff that you're going to be looking at and dealing with and bringing to the light. It's the heaviest reading I've had so far, to tell you the truth. And I'm doing them in order because I never used to do an order. Now I do an order. It's easier. That is May. And then June. Then June comes. And then we have 2 4s in a row. That's interesting. Yeah. And then June comes. And this is how I described it to another. Sometimes, and it's like, okay, so you have this opportunity to look at this stuff, but what are you going to do with it? What are you going to do with it? And you, this is going to be this opportunity for healing and for intuition and for a gift and for emotional um, loveliness, understanding. You're like, oh no, I don't need it. But I think you should take it. I think if the opportunity comes, somebody comes to help you, to listen to you, to heal you, to nourish you, to give you a message. This one, he doesn't take it, but he can if he wants to. It's like, stop being spoiled and stubborn and open your arms and receive. Sometimes I don't read this card like that, but today I do. Receive. June, July. Finally, we're getting into a much more comforting, calming energy. Being with oneself, being comfortable in one's space, being comfortable in one's body, in one's environment, in one's home, in one's body, in one's soul, one's mind. Nice, nice. I think because this happens. But there's going to be a lot to deal with because I have like this one and this one and this one. It's a lot. So be kind to yourself through the process. August. Okay, now that I know the action to take to make myself more stable and more secure, I'm going to take the action on the action. I should be a writer. In a very steadfast, serious, practical way and build something. September, so that I can change and so that the wheel can turn and so that I can come more into the light so that I can evolve with me in the center and receive messages that are new, that are clear, that are balanced, that are focused, new messages. This is November. No, that's October. Sorry. And then in November, find my tribe and joy, right? The ones who I really, they're all having fun. You're like, this is the type I just described to someone. This is like, so I was thinking about it last night before I went to sleep. I go to a lot of parties here. There are a lot of people have parties in their household. I have never been to a party in Mexico where there wasn't singing and dancing. You're at a party and it's so different in the States. It's like you go to someone's party in the house in the States and, you have some food and, they have a few drinks, people sell a few jugs, maybe you meet some new people, someone's interesting, someone you don't like, whatever it is. And then, maybe they have some music. Okay. Here, the second that music goes on, everyone gets up and starts dancing. Like the second, like they're not like, oh, I'm feeling, intimidated. Oh, I'm embarrassed. I'm not a good dancer. No one cares here. They're like, it's great. I love it. And that's these people, right? It's like, yeah, let's dance. And it's a 3, it's creative. And here we have December. And he's come up quite a bit. This is the king of responsibility. It's like I completely take ownership of what I did that was on the money. And I also take ownership of the darkness that I chose to live in, but that I've chosen to transform through. So it's going to be quite the journey this year. This is the adjustment. And look, I mean, I could really go down that witchy. Might as well. I mean, that's what my station's about. There's so much light coming into the earth right now, so much photonic galactic light that it's revealing all these pieces and parts of ourselves that maybe we've hidden or we didn't want to look at or didn't want to deal with or blah, blah, blah. And it's coming up to be released. It's coming up to be released and healed. And this is individually and collectively. So, it's kind of like drinking medicine. It's disgusting. It's like, I know it's disgusting and I almost want to vomit when I take it, but I know that it's going to work. So I'm going to do it. Like I had the eye operations, I had 2 cataract operations. And I was telling people, I didn't even realize they put a stitch in your eye, right? It wasn't laser, it was like, and like I'm sitting there after the first one and he goes, sit still, keep your eye open. I'm like, what are you doing? I thought he was like looking at the pressure or something. He goes, I'm taking the stitch out of your eye. I'm like, you're what? And I would tell people, they're like, oh my God, I'm so squeamish. It's like, I'm pretty squeamish too. But you know what? I needed to see. So it's like, do what you need to do. Right. And I'm not like, I'm going to have surgery for this, surgery for that. It's only the second time I've had surgery in my whole life. So it's not, something I'm looking for. But it's like someone's just got to do what you got to do. Someone's just have to look at things and deal with things and feel things that you didn't want to. The way through the pain is through the pain. That I can attest to. That I can attest to. The way through the pain is through the pain. And then you get to the other side and you're sore for a while and then things lift. That's my experience, time and time again. And I kick and scream. It's all right. It's all right. As long as you get there. Kick the can down the road. Like, I don't want to go. Keep on walking. Okay. Be like that. Nobody cares. It's all right. It's not graceful. Growth is not graceful. So that's been for me. All right. Blessings. Have a lovely, transformative year. Blessings. Bye.